Facebook, Twitter, and all those other good joints. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. Somebody said, "Yay! What's happening, Kimberly?" Kimberly said, "Yay!" So everybody else, give me a yay! Yeah, that's all I want. Hey, yay! Yo! Yay! Yo! So if this is your first time joining the show, I'm Kevin from Kevin's Corner, your host. If you would hit that like button, I would appreciate it. And also, if you would subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. All those good things helps the show grow. If you can follow me on other social media platforms, all of the links are below, including my alternative channel, which is Stop and Think About It, which I'm watching the show from right now on this laptop over here. And also Rumble, my Rumble channel. There you go. Even though I haven't uploaded there for a while. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Okay, get off my back. All right. So with that being said, I do have a couple other things I'll cover, but we'll wait until I get loose. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? 1, 2, 1, 2, check. Because I can't hear myself. What's going on with the sound? What's going on with the sound? See, here we go. Here we go. Shenanigans. All right, now let's try that again. All right, dang on it. Make me look bad in front of my friends. I don't like it. Now, better give me some volume. There it is. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Now, with that being said, don't forget, I do have a merch store that you can check out if you can, and you can purchase whatever you want to purchase. Got all kind of stuff, including my little dog that's running around here named Gizmo. Most of you know him. Now, there's a phone number on the screen, 330-974-4607. If you text that number, MAGA to that number, then just in case YouTube feels froggy and jump, y'all will know how to reach me, and I'll know how to reach y'all, let you know where I'm at and what's going on. And then finally, I do have my fundraising link below this video. I think we have 4 days left. And I mean, come on, anybody want to hit a buzzer beater, you're welcome to do so. I sure enough could use it. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, see, Kev, man, done came out of retirement. I'm out there banging, y'all, every day. And remember I used to have vampire hours? Not anymore. Yep, because of YouTube shenanigans. Yeah, I said, you know what? Let me get out there and show these young boys how to do things. I went back to my old Ron Ellerby ways. My Uncle Ron, who owned a moving company. Hey, boy, get it and go. Yeah, I'm out there, man, on the truck, throwing up stuff, picking up weights, all kind of stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's great until my back start hurting. So anyway, anything you guys can do to support the channel, I would appreciate it. But I do appreciate some good old hard work. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about that today because, this whole thing going on with Donald Trump and New York, I got to touch on that. See, I got to touch on that. And some hard working, middle class folks, they don't like what they see. Folks are about fed up with this whole garbage that's going on with President Trump. We've seen enough, man. And I was thinking to myself, when regular people decide they've had enough, the people that make the world go round, the people that all of these folks who's making these decisions, who's abusing the will of the people, who's circumventing the desires of the people, all of those folks up there who don't know how to grow one strawberry, don't know how to tack one nail in. I mean, I ride around on a truck, a major truck where we deliver all of these products to guys who build stuff. And it's great because I'm watching guys throw up houses. See, folks just end up being in the house. I want this house. It looks good in the magazine. Could you build that for me? They don't see the dudes sitting there like throwing up stuff, drywall, all of it. They don't see that. They just show up. Folks that, are up there making these decisions, food just ends up in their stores and in their refrigerators and things like that. And I was thinking, man, these people don't realize how much they depend on the same folks that they just tinkle on constantly. And if they ever decided, you know what, Yeah, I'm not cleaning any more sewages in your area. I'm not building anything else in your area. How about you get out there with your manicure and go to work with that hammer? See, when they start doing that, showing these people that, man, look, the people have spoken. Maybe we don't have Republicans that'll do anything about it. Maybe we got some weak, sorry, politicians, lawyers, DAs and stuff that won't do anything about it. But when the people had enough, the people had enough. And I think they just about had enough. So with that being said, let's get into it. But now, before we do that, we got a public service announcement, y'all. We got a public service announcement. What is this about here? Oh, a public pander announcement. My fault. A public pander announcement by someone or something. Wait, hold on. Hello. Something is about to speak to us. Someone who they stuck in the White House, I guess, or at least in the Biden cabinet, and I don't know what this is. Richard. I don't know what to call him. Now, here's this pseudo admiral that is about to make a public service announcement. He's about to tell us about, I guess, climate change and all that stuff. Now, I'm a little concerned about taking any advice from somebody who they got some issues. They haven't really settled on the inside about what they really are. See, how you gonna tell me about climate change and you don't know the difference between a tornado and an earthquake? See, that's what I'm saying. I need you to know some differences. Yeah, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Now, before I take your advice, I need to get that settled. But I'm gonna go ahead and listen to him, okay? Because he's telling us about climate change, which we should be worried about, okay? So here we go.
I'm Admiral Rachel Levine.
Oh.
This Black History Month, I'm pleased to partner with...
Wait a minute. I thought this was a public safety announcement. What is he talking about, Black History Month? What that got to do with... Okay, maybe he's going to say something about Black people that should educate themselves on climate or something like that. I don't know. I don't know where this is going.
With OMH in advancing better health through better understanding for Black communities.
What?
Climate change is having a disproportionate effect on the physical and mental health of Black communities.
That's news to me. That is news to me. I'm a Black man. I've been in the Black community. How is that disproportional? I don't understand. What is it about when climate oozes over the Black community? It stops right there. Hey guys, let's settle right here over the Black community, okay? All right, now look, we're gonna rain down all kind of stuff on these Black folks, okay? Because we're still dealing with a little bit of racism and all of that stuff. So now let's get some hell going. Let's rain down some hell. We're gonna get some snow. We want a typhoon. We want a typhoon coming, and then hit them with some heat right after that. Hit them with the cold, bring them back with some hot stuff right there. Do you believe this mess? Now, why would this man be trying to tie climate change to Black folks? Black folks that are not complaining about no climate. Black folks that the last thing on their mind is the climate. Well, probably because Marxist conflict theory requires it. If you can tie whatever policy or desire or whatever agenda you're pushing to a victimized group, then all of a sudden you hope to garnish everybody's support. And those that don't support it, they must love to see Black folks burnt up in their neighborhood. See, it stops right there. See, you know how white neighborhoods lean right up against Black neighborhoods sometimes? See, when that heat start to coming, right there, and it start to coming, first of all, it's nice cool air when it's in the white neighborhood. It's nice cool air. It's like, all right, keep them comfortable. That's 75, mild and sunny. But when we get to the Black line, that's where we're going to turn it up to 105. Yes, and that's why they're running around as dark as they are. Always eating their watermelon and stuff like that, just to stay cool. They don't have air conditions in their house. They have to put fans in the window. Yeah, no screen doors, stuff like that. Let's go and abuse the Black folks, climate change. That's what's going on. This is so offensive to Black people, and she thinks she's earning some points with he thinks he's earning some points with Black people. Now, all he's trying to do is say, hey, look, we really want to push this whole climate agenda so we can get more control over your lives. And I know a lot of y'all think this is bull crap, including the Black folks who ain't complaining about this. But we without any information, no data, nothing, are going to come in to rescue the poor black folks from the heat, cold, whatever. We don't know what climate she's talking about because he's talking about. Because see, my thing is this. If I leave my neighborhood, which is mixed, maybe he's going to say that, the climate settles on black houses next. My white neighbor right down the street, he get the cool air. See, he don't get the hurricanes and stuff that just be sitting on top of my house. But if I was to leave my neighborhood and travel maybe 3 or 4 miles down to the inner city of Youngstown, are you telling me the climate changes? That's what you're telling me, Mr. Richard Levine. So now let's finish here because maybe he's going to, tie it all together here.
Black Americans are more likely than white Americans to live in areas and housing that increase their susceptibility to climate-related health issues.
How? This is on the same level as them telling us that, hey, listen, black people can't get IDs. Black folks didn't go to them and tell them, hey, guess what? Democrats, you know what our problem is? We can't get IDs. They didn't go to them and say this is a problem. They came up with the problem to solve a problem that they have, which is allowing folks to vote without IDs. So what do? Use black people as the springboard to push this agenda. We weren't complaining. I don't know about y'all. Anybody who's black to watch my show, if you could tell me in all of your years on a planet, have you ever met a black person that said, man, dude, I don't know how to go get an ID? Or have you even met a black person that said, I went to vote, and they said, boy, you better get on out of here. We don't let your kind vote here. Go on now, get. I've never met one black person who couldn't go get an ID. Ladies, all the ladies in the house, have y'all ever met a woman who said, you know what, girl? I was thinking about getting an abortion, but I don't think the 3 or 4 months that we already have is enough time. You know what I need? 9 months. That'll help me make up my mind. See, what happens is these people throw out these issues and they hide them and cloak them under so-called victimized groups, saying things like women's rights, health rights, and you're basically killing women and taking away, all to push this agenda. Whereas I cannot believe there's one woman who said, hey, this is a problem for us. What happened is those stinking Democrats, for whatever reason, want to kick it out to 9 months. But the people weren't demanding this. Just like black folks are not sitting around being impacted by climate change. And then she just straight said, you know what? I guess, their areas are contributing to it. Now, do we live in huts? I'm just wondering. This is ridiculous. Are we sleeping on dirt floors? I'm affected by the climate change. This dust every time I lay down goes right up my nostrils because I'm sleeping on the floor. Yeah, ants bite me and everything. Are you kidding me? This would be different if black folks were like on another continent. We're in the same neighborhoods, same general cities, same states. So how can you say climate change somehow impacts black neighborhoods more than white neighborhoods? But he'll never explain that. He's not there to. He's there to pander. Now, I hope no black people are falling for this. It just burns me up to see garbage like this, how they use black folks to push their raggedy agenda.
And 65% of black Americans report feeling anxious about climate change's impact.
What 65% of black folks he talking about? Okay, now I got to go back to the black folks to watch the show. Now, I don't know how many watching right now. I don't know how many watching. But I do got a question. Have you ever been sitting around a picnic? Hey, grandma, you know what the real concern for the black neighborhood and community is? Climate change. I have anxiety. I'm not scared about the gunshots that ring out in the middle of the night. That's not it. No. Yeah. Hey, I'm not worried about my kid growing up in an S-hole-ran Democrat city like Chicago, walking home from school and might catch a stray one. Yeah, can't go out and play on the merry-go-round, the seesaw, nothing, because I'm worried about violence in my hood, not climate change. Violence, not climate. Violence, not climate. And this fool is up here talking about we have anxiety about this. Do you understand how far that topic is from my mind? If they wouldn't bring it up, I would never. For me to be concerned about climate change, I would have to look up and see a bright red sky. That's the only thing. I would have to look up and be like, wow, are those meteorites falling? I might be a little concerned. Yeah, I would have to look up and start seeing things that shouldn't be taking place in Ohio, which still happens every year. Yeah, summer, winter, fall, spring. Comes around every year. Temperature might vary a little bit. But the day that I don't get a winter, or this just all summer, first of all, I'd be happy if it was all summer, but probably a little concerned. Like, wait, why is it so hot in Ohio all year round? That might be a concern. But as of now, what are they talking about? And got the nerve to say, we have anxiety. Now, I hope this person is not doing what a lot of people who try to coach children into saying something or agreeing to something, where you ask them a question, a leading question, and kind of nod your head along, like from a scale to 1 to 10. You think if the climate was getting worse, would that be something you might be concerned about? Whole time shaking your head. You might be. I guess so. Okay, thank you. All right, one black person said yes. And then you come up and you throw this out there with no backup, no proof, no nothing. Just 65% of us, y'all, are concerned about climate change. Black folks. I don't know how people vote for these folks. Man, maybe white liberals, but good grief. Black folks, boy, the way they just use us for everything kills me.
Through our Office of Climate Change and Health Equity and the Office of Environmental Justice, we're working with...
Environmental justice. What's that? What's that, y'all? I want some dang justice. Because this environment has attacked me. We need some Democrat justice. That's what we need, because they're attacking the whole country right now. All of the neighborhoods, all of our policies, all our laws, everything, our border, everything's being attacked by these radical leftists, these globalists. And they're talking about climate justice. Who's doing this? Who are you going to sue? I was abused by a windstorm last night. Yeah, I want some climate justice. They just use these things and put justice on the end because they're social justice warriors. Really, they're Marxists. That's what they are. And they have come up with these little buzzwords and concepts to make everything look like, it's about some justice or injustice or whatever. Some victim. We're fighting for justice. We're trying to protect people from this and that. All of that is to bubble wrap their crooked Marxist globalist agenda. That is all it is. Don't be fooled, black folks. I don't want y'all coming out tomorrow looking up like, oh, all right, man. Yeah, I heard Richard Levine tell me that the climate's chasing me. Also white cops, that's trying to get me, and all the other stuff. Racism, white nationalists too. Yeah, they're trying to get me. Voter suppression is trying to get me.
With providers and community leaders to identify innovative approaches that empower communities to address the health consequences linked to climate change.
How can you identify anything when you can't identify what you really are? This is crazy. I mean, we're living in crazy town right now. These are Democrats, man. This is the stuff that they do. They stick this out there. And I heard somebody say something the other day. Black people vote against their basic morals, their basic kind of just culture. They vote against it off of just one thing. This is racism. That's it. I mean, everything about black people, all these things that they shove out in black people's face, they're not on that. They don't care about climate change. If this person showed up at the average black person's house, they'd be like, what's going on here? Who is this person? See, it's even black folks, they done been around gay folks for years. They know what gay is. They even know what cross dressers are. But this stuff where you start going, you know what? I'm here because, we were talking to your daughter at the school down here, and they say we've been trying to show them books and stuff, get them to read this stuff. And your daughter said they might feel something on the inside, and they questioning something. Most black folks will throw him and anybody else who believes this crap out of their houses. Most black folks are not on any of the policies that the Democrats push. All of their craziness, all of the stuff they shove into schools for kids, all of this crap. Black folks ain't on it. They vote off of one thing: racism. That's it. But yet, here this guy's talking about, you know what, we're looking out for the black community because climate change is bullying us.
Visit hhs.gov for more information and tune in next Thursday to hear from another HHS leader on how you can contribute to advancing better health for black communities.
Oh my goodness. Getting Democrats out of it. That's how we can advance the better health for black communities. Voting out Democrats that run their cities. There you go. I solved it. I should do the announcement next week. Hello. I'm Kevin from Kevin's Corner. The person who's supposed to be doing this is tied up in the closet. Now, I suggest that all of the black folks vote out all the Democrats, and then you can have peace and civility in your neighborhood. You'll have discipline, and you'll have some type of enforcement of the laws. Okay, I think they're about to get it loose now, so I better flee. Okay, see y'all next time. Public announcement. Take off running. That's what I need to do. Listening to this fool. So anyway, guys, I told y'all last night I wasn't going to let this go either. Because creepy sleepy's coming to town. Somebody asked me, why, you know, how far I live away from East Palestine. Maybe about 20 miles, if that. And yeah, creepy sleepy, after all of this time, decided, I'm coming to town. I cleared away. Creepy's coming. So let's see how it went when he came to the yo. Well.
If you have to come to East Palestine, don't.
Oh, you see that dude up there looking like Jesse the Body Ventura? That guy up there with that bicycle motor mustache right there? That dude said don't. Now, they done warned you, creepy. We don't need your kind here.
We are following breaking news as we come on the air this morning. A train derailment forces hundreds from their home in Ohio.
The governor of Ohio says the toxic chemicals contained in 5 tanker cars are very deadly if inhaled. He says if those living within about a mile of the derailment site don't evacuate, their lives could be in danger.
Now, that seems very serious. Sheesh, you mean to tell me an accident caused by the government in a neighborhood, and all of those fumes are kicking up to the point where they say, hey, look, if you live within a mile, flee for your life. You might die. I would think that would make a president stop what he was doing and say, well, I better pay some attention to this. Somebody get on the phone. I need to immediately find out what's the progress. What's happening there? What are we doing? What's the response? Are we evacuating people? Do we have any type of services? Can we relocate these people? What's the cleanup process? All of these things that a president should do. Creepy was probably spinning around in his chair eating chocolate chip.
The EPA does say that the area well and groundwater are safe. However, after this couple saw dead fish in this creek that you're looking at, they're deciding to not take any chances.
Well, I wouldn't. Wow. Yeah, go ahead and take a swig. Why is it green? Oh, that is just a kind of mosque. That's mosque. This is green, and the reflection, the sun, and that's why it's green. Okay, I guess. Well, what about that steam coming off of it? Oh, that's just the steam from the morning time to dew and stuff. But it's good. It's basically good. Okay, all right. Let me get a swig. Wait a minute. Is that fish floating? Do fish float? I thought they swim. Oh, well, no, those are just fish that's floating. You ain't never heard of floating fish? You ain't never heard of those? Just when they get tired, they just kind of like do the float. You know what I'm saying? That's it. They're not dead though. Can I poke one of them? No, don't touch them. No, touch them. Yeah, you might contaminate your whole arm. Okay, and you want me to drink this? Yeah, it's safe. So now, they go down there telling these people it's safe, but fish are dead in the water. What killed the fish? What killed them? So let's continue, because I'm sure creepy sleepy. See, this is stuff that was back in the day when it actually happened. I'm sure any second we're going to see creepy sleepy float down out of a parachute to rescue these people.
There was hundreds.
Russell Murphy is referring.
Wow. Now, I can see if it was 1 or 2 fish. Hundreds?
Referring to the fish, now belly up in Leslie Run.
The EPA does say that the area well and groundwater are safe.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I think the EPA was probably trying to kill all those MAGA folks. That's what I think. Darn it, the train crash didn't kill them immediately? Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. Tell them to drink the water. It's unbelievable. And we got to get rid of these MAGA folks somehow. Yeah, that's poison the whole river. So they're telling them to drink the water.
3 weeks later.
Okay.
President Biden says he will visit the train derailment site in East Palestine. However, he did not say when that would happen. At a luncheon with Senate Democrats yesterday, he told reporters that he would be out there at some point.
When?
The president not made the visit out there, and at this point, is he just not going to? He's
Of
done
course
a lot
not.
of
He's not
travel in recent weeks and months.
So I'm just going to repeat what the president said. He will travel to the area, to East Palestine. Just don't have anything to share on travel or upcoming dates that he'll be there. But the president said it. He's going to go, so he will go.
Now, if East Palestine was filled with, say, transgenders, he'd beat her Johnny on the spot. If it was filled with black folks that voted Democrat, he'd beat her on the spot. Yeah, if it was filled with even white liberals, he would beat her on the spot. But it's filled with hard-working middle-class Americans, mostly white, and mostly vote for Trump. So that's the last thing on his agenda. Well, Mr. President, are you going today? No, I got stuff to do. Well, your schedule says you're clear. I got it's National Sniffing Day. Sniffing Day? Yep, got to do some sniffing. Can't go. So whatever excuses this guy was coming up with not to go, there's nothing you can say was more important than this. At least to the people who were suffering. Yeah, but Joe was like, don't worry about it. Tell him I'll get with him later.
Well, I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. There's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to break. I was thinking whether I'd go to East Palestine this week, but I then was reminded I've got to go literally around the world. I'm going from Washington to India to Vietnam and so it's going to be a while.
Because there's emergencies there. Yeah, I'm going from the Timbuktu and to you know what, anywhere but East Palestine. I'm going to the real Palestine. I'm going to the. So now this guy's over here squinting, trying to come up with an excuse of why he's not going, and he's saying he got to go all around the world, which none of those areas have suffered a tragedy and an emergency, but he got to go to all of those places. Now, how much of a slap in the face is this? Only place that he mentioned was, I think he said Washington. Doesn't he live there in the White House? But nonetheless, got to go to Washington, and everywhere else was like out of the country. Out of the country. That goes to show that he cares about everybody else before us. Let some illegal immigrants be in East Palestine. He would have been on the spot, ready to jet. Let's go. My precious illegal immigrants are down there after surging the border.
Wow.
Just one more. The president said over the long weekend that he hasn't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. I just haven't been able to break. That's
all he does. He has one long break. That man right now has been on break since they installed him. In his mind, mentity. But they saying he hasn't had a chance to be on break. What about all the clips we've seen him scooting and shuffling along on the beach, dragging his little chair behind him? What about those? All that vacation time.
It was on February 3rd. President Biden has not had a break since February 3rd.
The president will go to East Palestine. He promised that he would, and he will. You saw him.
So he was not on a break when he was in Lake Tahoe?
I will say this again. The president is going to go to East Palestine, as he has said that he is committed to do.
1 year later. A whole year? It took Air Force One whole year to fly all the way from Washington to East Palestine. I didn't know it was that far. I did not know it was that far. So a year later, he come dragging his corpse to East Palestine. Let's see how the people receives him.
It's happening today. President Joe Biden is coming to East Palestine.
Yeah.
Just clap for that, you stupid bastard.
His visit comes exactly 1 year and 13 days after a Norfolk Southern train spilled toxic chemicals, displacing thousands of neighbors in the village and surrounding area.
Hi, guys. Well, to be honest with you, the tone of the town...
Oh, wait a minute, y'all. I thought those were all, yay, creepy sleepies coming to town. What I see is F. Joe Biden signs in the background. And I'm so glad whoever this lady is right here decided to position herself right in front of the F. Joe Biden stand right there. She wants everybody to see how the people feel about creepy sleepy. How do you even get an F. Joe Biden sign, a flag? I need one of those. I need one. I mean, I'm sitting there like, why wasn't I invited to the F. Joe Biden party? I didn't know they was throwing that, man. I would have been up there so like 20 miles away. I'm sorry I'm late, y'all. All right, anybody got an extra flag for me? Anybody? Okay, can I borrow one? Can we share one? Both of us. F. Joe Biden.
Is frustrations. We have spoken with many residents here on North Market Street, many of which have been camped out here for hours under tents and in chairs, and many of...
Now they camping out to have an F. Joe Biden party. Now that's the type of party I want to hang out with. It's a celebration, Rick James would say. It's a celebration. So now, instead of camping out to celebrate the entrance of their champion, they're out there camping out to simply let him know, F. Joe Biden. Now, I've seen people camping out for Trump. I've seen streets lined up around a block for like miles for Trump. But wow, you know how hated you got to be for people to come out in the cold and camp out just to let you know they hate you? And yeah, I don't even know why they sent this dude. This is a slap in the face. You know how obvious this is, that this is a pander moment. It's like, what did I forget to do before the election that the people might bring up? Oh, crap, I got to go to East Palestine. Fine, let's go. That's what this is. That's all it is. So I can say I fulfilled a promise. That is it.
Of which have told me they feel the president's visit has come too late.
Way too late.
It's too late, I think.
Tell him, girl.
That he should have come sooner. He was going other places at the same time.
What difference is it going to make now? What's he going to do?
Unless he's bringing a truckload of money, to help the people of the town and the businesses, there's no point.
And we know he's not doing that because that's for his precious illegal immigrants. That's right. Can't give you nasty, stinking Americans this money. And he's sure not getting my 10% for the big guy, that's for sure.
He took his time getting here. We're just a little aggravated about that.
It's too late. He should have came, like a week or two after. He should have. It's ridiculous that he didn't.
And even though it has been a year, there's also been a lot of stuff that Norfolk Southern has been helping out too. I do believe that if he's going to help change our town, then he needs to make...
Oh my God. Also,
you hear them people in the back, let's go, Brendan. And I'm loving it. I would have loved to have been there. If I'd have known where I could have went parked, I would have just loved to go in there and interview some of these people. And what could he even come in there and say to these people? I know everybody who sat there, if they were anybody listening to him or in the audience or whatever, they all had to have a side eye. They all had to be sitting there like my Uncle Ron with the toothpick and some stuff in his teeth. So you say it took you a year, huh? Couldn't make it, huh? All over the place. Couldn't make it down here, huh? That's what they should be giving him. The Uncle Ron look. Unbelievable. This guy got the nerve to show up. Just don't even go. Act like you forgot it. It's more insulting that you would go a year later knowing that everybody's going, you're only coming here to pander. That is why you're only coming here to say, look at me. I fulfilled this promise. You don't care about us. If that's the case, you would have been there. That's like, your kid in trouble and you show up a year later. Yeah, Mom, I just got in a horrible car accident. Yeah, I'm stuck. My car is upside down off the side of a cliff. And the wheels are spinning. Yeah, all right, I'll get there. A year later.
trucking company, and I've had several people call me and ask me if I could block the entrance of the town so that he can't come.
Stiff arm.
Because it's been over a year, and now he wants to come when it's election time.
President Biden.
When it's election time. Now, notice these people right here. They're not CEOs. They're not folks out there in Silicon Valley. Yeah, they're not people drinking their macchiatos with their pinkies up. They're not walking around with purple and blue hair talking about injustice. They're not out there rocking Black Lives Matter flags. They're just regular middle to low income Americans. So that's going to tie us into what's going on with Trump and how all of these Americans are responding after we finish with Creepy Sleepy's visit.
Not exactly receiving a warm welcome here. In 2020, the surrounding county voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, who visited the site 3 weeks after the derailment.
Why did you not care before now? Is this all a political stunt?
Another thing, Leland, I tell you what, I love this country, but I hate our government. We're being abandoned left and right.
Hush up, boy.
Exactly. Hush up, boy. So that is the frustration that a lot of Americans are feeling right about now. I love the country, but I hate the government right about now. The way they are treating us, this current government, the part of the government that is doing everything they can to put their thumb on the back of the will of the people. I can't stand them. They have revealed so much ugliness in the last 6 years or so, 8 years, that you can't unsee it. You have to get rid of it. Because, see, I can never trust it. Even if Trump wins and we don't get rid of the rot, I know it will return. And I will never be able to really trust the institutions. So the first step is to get a win. If we get the win, if we can get past all the cheating, all of the crap that they're throwing at Trump, all of these stupid charges, all of this mess, if we can get by all of that and make sure these folks aren't, bringing in ballots in the middle of the night and all of that crap, if we can get through all of that, because right now what we're doing is running through a gauntlet. We're running through a whole bunch of minefields and obstacle course just to get to the election. And these folks are throwing everything out there in front of him and us, hoping that we step on a landmine and blow up. But if we can get through all of that, soon as we retain power, the next thing needs to happen is clean up these agencies immediately. All of them. See, because they're the agencies that are supporting. It filters down. Starting up there with these globalists, these Washington politicians, and then they support the local ones who are doing things like we are seeing be done to Trump with Fat Fanny, Alvin, all of that. And the deep state supports that crap too. So you start getting rid of those agencies. Get rid of the deep state. And expose the Democrat politicians out there. Because, see, they rely on the deep state. They're all working together. Along with some Republicans, too. Get rid of the rhinos. Or expose them. Make them get rid of themselves by exposing them. Same thing with the Democrats. But really, their power lies in the media and in the deep state. That's where their power lies. And then what happens is they give you basically immunity to these raggedy prosecutors in their cities to do their bidding. Go ahead. Do things like what we just saw them do to Trump up there in New York. And when I heard about it, I was furious. It's one thing to even let the crazy chick who claimed Trump filter up inside of a mall somewhere on the floor. It was just her and him as she's talking to Anderson Pooper, talking about, what I think, what is sexy. Most women do. You're fascinating to talk to, Anderson. Pooper didn't know what to do with that. Pooper almost pooped his pants. Oh, how about that? Well, let's got the commercial. And then they give her all of this stupid money just because they're trying to destroy Trump. And then come right back and award who? I don't even know who gets the money. Yeah, because I'm thinking like, who was the... somebody step up and say, okay, I'll take it because nobody else is a victim here. So $355 million, ban Trump from doing business, and it's so obvious. All of us hardworking Americans can relate to Trump because we see the abuse of power. We're saying, man, here's the guy fighting for us, listening to us, and we see you guys just disregarding. It shows what really counts. It's not money, it's power. So Trump got all that money But these folks who are nestled in to these positions are abusing their power. Your money can't stand up against power of the government if it is corrupt. Now the people can, which we're about to see the people doing just that. Boy, this burned me up.
These are corrupt people. These are people that shouldn't be allowed to do the things they do. And they're using this as weaponization against a political opponent who's up a lot in the polls and always will be, because I'm competing with a man who can't put two sentences together.
Donald Trump might have had strong words for this civil fraud trial. It had a hefty penalty for him. A fine and a ban on personally running a business in New York for 3 years. The judge gave his sons Donald Jr. and Eric Trump each a two.
Huh. That's odd. Okay. I can't see the chat anymore. Must have disappeared. Am I still live? Somebody chat something so I can see. Make sure they ain't playing no games. All right. There we go. All right. Somebody say hello there. So now, look at the crazy judge. Y'all see this dude? Y'all see Mr. Freeze up there? Looking like a nasty pervert. So that crazy judge colluding with Queen Latifah, done concoction something, determined Trump was guilty before the even trial started. Yeah, he's guilty. Everything about this was 100% clear that they were going to find Trump guilty, and the goal is to tap his pockets. So they beat him for I forget how much money they awarded the crazy lady. Now they're trying to beat him for $355 million, somewhere around that. And the hits just keep coming. And I'm thinking to myself, if they could do this to this man who is loaded with money and is a former president, what the heck do you think they would do to us if we lose this election and these folks somehow get more power and start using these agencies to put more smackdowns on regular folks who disagree with their policies? I mean, if you got two nickels to rub together, you think you got a little nest egg? Oh man, got $200,000. We will suck that up in court on some bogus charges in a week. There you go. Now you're broke. So now you're going to jail. Take your money because they come up with some bull crap like this. And this is what makes me mad about this. They don't even care. They know that we all know that this is garbage. And the arrogance of them to just do this and say, what y'all gonna do? We got the power. Well, we got to show them who has the power.
2-year ban. Their fraud was to inflate the value of company assets, to receive more favorable terms on loans and insurance. Trump Tower, where he famously descended the stairs to declare his presidential run, was one building involved. Here's Donald Trump with the Japanese Prime Minister in its apartment. He said it was 33,000 square feet. In fact, it was a third of the size.
Oh.
Donald Trump falsely, knowingly.
Now, do y'all see this ugly chick? Y'all see this stinking looking, big old makeup covered, eyebrows too high, sitting up here? Might as well be a part of her hair. Queen Latifah looking. And I ain't talking about the real one, a bootleg version of Queen Latifah. Here she comes out with this speech that made me have to rebuke my own thoughts. Sitting there like, I rebuke those thoughts of seeing her slip on a banana peel and bust her head to the white meat. I rebuke those thoughts. Here, listen to what she got to say.
Inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself, his family, and to cheat the system. Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal.
Do you hear that? That rehearsed speech? I mean, you know, you're playing with people's lives, and you are really slapping all of us voters in the face with this garbage speech. Some concoction catchphrase trying to make sure that, you know what, I'm going to be famous because I'm going to be known as the one who, we already knew what your goal and objective was, you big fat fake Queen Latifah stunt double. Your goal and objective was to get him from the beginning. When you were doing your campaign talking about getting this man, you never mentioned, inflating your value. No, you were talking about anything. I'm going to be looking into his businesses. I'm going to be suing him. Or I'm going to be a pain in his butt. Meaning this, once I get in, because I'm corrupt and the Democrats are corrupt enough to say, go ahead and do it because we own New York. All of our cities, all of our states. Yeah, you're good. You got free reign. Go ahead and pour this garbage. So this chick gets in and says, okay, let's open up an investigation on Trump for something. And I'm sure we will make it up as we go. Now, let me go find a perverted looking, skinny, nasty, stinking, crazy judge who him and I both hate Trump and in cahoots say, all right, now listen, I don't care how much the evidence showed that Trump didn't do nothing. I don't care how obvious this looks that this is a hit job and it's politically motivated. Remember, at the end of the day, you have to go ahead and rule against this man. Not just rule against him, but try to get as much out of him as you can to hurt his pockets. We want to punish this man just because he won and beat our tails. That's what we want to do. And I'm telling you, man, it's so hard not to just despise these people to the point where you got to pray. You got to pray because that's how evil. I seen the evil in this woman as she was talking. I'm like, oh, I want to just throw all kind of trash, garbage, snot, you name it on you. Just anything nasty, just throw it on her. Big old nasty thing.
Some of President Trump's supporters are pushing back against what they see as an unfair justice system, threatening a boycott that could have a major impact on the country's largest city. Some truck drivers say they're planning on refusing shipments to and from New York City in protest of that $355 million verdict against the former president in his business fraud trial. Dre Clark is live in Manhattan with the latest. Dre, what could this boycott do to prices, not just in New York, but for all of us across the country?
What? You mean the little guy's rising up? You mean to tell me that the average hardworking person, middle class is going, man, I tell you what, we need somebody in the office that will fight for us. And these folks are doing everything they can to take away our chance. Everything they can. If they can't beat him, they're just going to say, you know what? We're just going to take away your chance to even vote for him. If we got to do it by coming up with all kind of stupid stuff saying, oh, okay, we got to take him off ballots and, we find him guilty of this and now you can't run for president. He's an insurrectionist. Whatever we got to do. The people have seen this and they feel like, man, we've had enough. But these globalists, they don't care. These Democrats, these Marxists don't care. They see that every time they do this, normal, regular people, even people who didn't even necessarily like Trump at first, y'all saw what happened when Fat Fanny indicted him. And all of those black folks was out there on the streets, man. Free Trump. They stir up a hornet's nest that really probably wasn't paying attention until they start going, this could be me. Man, if they doing this kind of stuff out in the open and it's this blatant, if I ever get two nickels to rub together and I happen to get on the wrong side of a corrupt DA, a corrupt prosecutor, a corrupt politician, they could sabotage my whole life. So what are these regular hardworking folks? What's their pushback?
Well, certainly if truck drivers were to boycott New York City, the impact has the potential to be very damaging and very quick.
Good. Shut it down. I hope they boycott that mug into oblivion. I hope they boycott it until it's a dust bowl. I don't want them bringing in poppies. I don't want them bringing in no sunflower seeds. I don't want them bringing in nothing. The folks got to outsource their food. They better be Ubering food from New Jersey. There's no food over here in New York. Can you send an Uber to bring me some Popeyes, chicken? I hope they go ahead and boycott that mug to where they drinking out of the bay. It's unreal.
Talking about supermarkets, big box stores, and other businesses that rely heavily on trucking, they would feel the pinch, and so would their customers. About 90% of communities here in New York City rely heavily on trucking to move their goods. This morning...
Oh, regular, hard-working Americans, the ones like down there in East Palestine that Joe didn't care about. I'm not going down there. They're just filthy peasants. Yeah. hardworking Americans that says, okay, y'all want to keep messing with Trump? Yeah. All of the stuff y'all just take advantage of and take for granted. All of the stuff that just show up in your nice little neighborhoods and, all of your Starbucks is this, there, and that, all of that. Yeah. How about we go ahead and shut that mess down and tell y'all stop messing with us? Because when y'all messing with Trump, you're messing with us. See, y'all know we want to vote for him. Y'all can see it in the polls. So what you're doing is attacking him by indirectly, though, you're attacking us. You're saying, you know what, shut your mouths. We'll tell you who you can vote for. We'll tell you who we want to be president. We'll give you your options. And we're going to do it right out in your face openly. Y'all want to see what we do to him? Y'all want to see what we do to folks who disobey us? However, none of these folks know how to grow stuff. None of these folks know how to build stuff. Yeah, they just sit up there and make decisions for our lives and then sit back and say, shut your mouths and bring us our stuff. Build us our stuff. Make sure the sewage run properly. I say we let doo-doo pile up to their neck in New York. I say all the folks up there that do the plumbing, the hard works, all that stuff, working on cars, all the blue-collar people. Yeah, just sit back and say, you know what? I'm not doing nothing, man. I'm moving to a state that respects the people. Let these arrogant politicians get out there. Okay, all right. All right. How do you turn on the faucet outside? I was going to try to water my plants, but I don't have an illegal immigrant here to do it for me. And there's no strong middle-class strapping buck that can do it either. So let's say, okay, turn on. Okay, yeah, that did work. Abracadabra. They wouldn't know how to do crap. Burns me up.
We're on the Jersey side of the George Washington Bridge, and every day you can see hundreds, if not thousands, of trucks crossing the bridge from Jersey into the city. Meanwhile, one man is now telling truck drivers not to come to New York City after former President Trump was hit with that massive multi-million-dollar fine last week.
Don't keep on trucking, baby.
Hey, folks, your old pal Chicago Ray. I've been on the radio talking to drivers for about the last hour 15 minutes. And I talked to at least 10 drivers going the other way. I'm heading down from South Wisconsin.
South Wisconsin.
And they're going to start refusing loads in New York City starting on Monday. All right?
All right.
I got about 3 drivers that I drive with. They already vibrated the boss and told them they ain't going to New York City.
Yeah, don't go.
So, I don't know how far across the country this is, or how many truckers are going to start denying loads to go to New York City.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you fuck around and find out.
Oh, y'all mess around and find out. Because you're not just messing with Trump. You're messing with us. Boy, I tell you, man, the more I see the corruption in Democrat cities by these folks, the more I sit back and contemplate a civil divorce, just a national divorce, man. I mean, Dr. Twirly was talking about it. I was watching him today. He was showing how it's like 80% red states. Yeah, red states. And the 20% is like East Coast and West Coast states and things like that. And yet we got all the hardworking folks to grow all the stuff to supply these people. We got all the natural resources. If we just simply said, no, we're not even going to trade with you guys. We're not doing business with you. We're going to go ahead and just continue to shuffle the money amongst conservative states where we got laws, where we're not out here abusing our power, where we're not out here infested with Soros-ran dang on judges and activists. Yeah, let me ride through your raggedy behind SO state and deliver my goods in a red state. Oh, and if you don't want me to ride through there, I'll go around it. Don't want to catch that liberalism anyway. And see what happens to them. They would all collapse. We wouldn't even have to fight a civil war. Just start not supplying these people with stuff and see what happened. First of all of their citizens with common sense would get the hint real quick. Yeah, I might like the scenery out here in California, or I might like to see, New York, the fast life and all that stuff. But I'm starving. Yeah, I can't. I'm calling plumbers and they're not here. Yeah, I mean, the sewage is filling up. Yeah, how about I move somewhere where folks are treating people fairly and they're trying to hang on to our Constitution? Leave all the crazy folks up there. Thank you. Somebody said, you're the man, Kev. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tonight, man, it's all up under my skin, though. They done made me mad with this mess. It's like they all took my money. I mean, I'm not even rich. I'm sitting there going, man, that hurts. To see them just say, give me your money. You gonna give me your money just because you Trump. I can do whatever I want. Oh,
York, New York, New York.
Tell them, brother.
With Trump. With Trump. Now the truckers ain't trying to deliver y'all produce, y'all goods. For 3 years. You in New York, you better get up out of there. Yeah, I think groceries are high now. Y'all better respect Trump's gangsters, and y'all better respect that MAGA crowd. They're not playing. They're not playing. As you can see, they're not playing. Keep on f***ing around.
Yeah.
You're gonna find out.
Y'all gonna find out. Well, you gotta clean your own pools, or you can't get your pool supplies. I thought my pool is green. Where's my supplies? I need to go ahead and, and get my pool cleaned up. I gotta shock it. What do you mean the shock didn't come? Yeah, the truckers didn't bring it. What? Oh, wait a minute. I need celery. Oh, yeah, well, the truckers didn't bring it. What? Where's my macchiato? Yeah, there's no coffee showing up. The truckers didn't bring it. Watch them. They'll be like, give Trump back that money right now. I want my coffee.
I just received a call from a company that I was getting a load from. They just said
what they say.
They don't have any loads.
No loads
going to New York. So if you're in New York, you won't be receiving anything.
And if they do drop a load, it should be a load of caca. Ride through there and dump shite all over the city. Y'all want some manure? Here you go. Clean this mess up. Unreal.
From these drivers. I don't know if it's real. But I know that the companies are now saying that they're not delivering loads. It's not just the truckers.
So the companies are getting in on it. So they just the drivers? So the company's like, yeah, forget about it. Yeah, I'm not sending anybody to New York. Wow.
It's the companies also. Get yourself prepared, New York.
Get yourself prepared, New York.
Shit may hit the fan in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
You go, Cannon, New York.
What's that?
You won't see all the emptiness tonight in the truck stop. Trucker strike tomorrow in New York. Good luck.
The truckers was butt naked up there. Nobody? What?
Yeah, the man calls himself Chicago Ray, and as of last night, his post on X, formerly Twitter, had garnered more than 6 million views and 60,000 likes. Former President Trump also caught wind of what Chicago Ray is doing and reposted Ray's video on his platform, Truth Social. But it's hard to ascertain exactly how many drivers are answering his call and what kind of impact it may have. It's not an organized effort, and the drivers expressing support for Chicago Ray, they're scattered all across the country. We did reach out to the Teamsters Union, the union representing many truck drivers, but did not get a response. We also contacted and tried to call at least the National Supermarket Association, which is based here in New York City, but did not get a response. Meanwhile, Chicago Ray says he and other truckers are irate over Judge Arthur and Gordon.
Now look at that. Look at the psychopath. Look at this bootleg, raggedy, stinking dude right there. See, they have to go out and they got to find either really corrupt people or crazy people. You seen the one chick on the jury down there for Fannie? He was like, I was hoping that, you know what? I could swear Donald Trump in. The witch, the one that declared she was a witch. And here this young Pop-Tart is responsible for on a jury talking about, I was hoping I could, you know what? I would. And I'm going, y'all got to find crazy people. Y'all got to go out and find these type of people that are either crazy, have no integrity, they don't care about their reputation, they don't care that they look obviously corrupt. So now this fool out there, look at him, this nasty stinking butt.
Finding former President Trump more than $355 million for fraud.
Look at him. That flat nose. Boy, I want to, right to that nose. Sitting there with that smirk. Look like he's rotten. Tell you, man, that looks like dude looks like a straight zombie right about now. Start twitching like Michael Jackson. Stinking nasty.
Ray, like the former president, believes it's a form of election interference.
Yes,
Meanwhile, we talked to one driver who says she's joining the movement to boycott New York City. And she says if things go as planned, the city could pay a big price.
It could shut New York City down. And, you know, I don't want to hurt the people of New York. That's not what I'm trying to do. But my part in it, if New York just loses 10%, just 10% of the trucks that go in there, their prices are going to skyrocket.
Yep. And see, that's my point. The people in New York are pawns in these evil folks' game. See, these folks that's minding their business in New York got evil politicians who's playing games with the rest of the country. See, and so the New Yorkers should get mad at them when the salad ain't out there on the salad bar. When they start going, man, hold up, why are we getting hit with high prices? Why are all these illegal immigrants in our neighborhoods? They should get the hint from that. Now you got them playing with the rest of the country as they attack Trump for no reason and try to beat him for all this money on multiple levels. And now the rest of the country are starting to say, you know what? Okay, yeah, y'all might have power to mess with Trump, but we got power to mess with y'all goods and services. Make y'all people so mad that they demand new leadership.
On everything, from milk to eggs to any type of goods that the consumer needs. And when that happens, it's going to cost everybody more money.
Well, this case really isn't just a...
Now, this guy right here, who is not necessarily a Trump fan, but he's going to close us out with some arguments that's hurting New York and bring up some wonderful points and highlight how stupid this mess is. You want to know what the real crime is, as we're about to see them try to say Trump committed a crime. The real crime is against Trump. What they're doing to Trump is the real crime.
It's about Donald Trump. This is an assault on the 11th sector of the S&P 500, which is real estate. Step back and think about what this means for the state of New York. Development of real estate creates millions of jobs in America. And once the buildings are stabilized and rented out or used for commercial real estate or whatever, they generate cash flow and they're put into REITs. And you and I invest in those. Retirees invest in them. And that's how they get income. That's why it became the 11th sector of the S&P. It's so important to the American economy. Very few sectors generate as much cash as this does. And so if you're a developer, you're an entrepreneur, you go to a bank and you say, look, I want to borrow $200 million to build a building. And they say, well, what assets do you have we can secure this loan against?
Gotcha.
And you point to a building you built before. And you haggle and you argue about the value of that building. This goes on in every city on earth.
Now, maybe the vampire judge and that bootleg Queen Latifah needs to be hearing a real businessman talk about this. Yeah, this guy right here is giving us a lesson. Yeah, on real estate development, how it really works. But apparently the judge is an expert and Queen Latifah's an expert, and they also know how to value property and all this stuff, right? Or do they do like they normally do, just a shot in the dark? Well, we think that property is, let me think, it's pretty, and it's, they got colors and stuff. I think it'd be around maybe 13 million. What? The property's worth like 700 million. Oh, I'm a little shy? Okay, well, then you tell me what you think is. These people know nothing about this. And yet, you got professionals that came in through the whole trial and was like, there's no problem. Everything he did was above the board. No, we're smarter than you all. Nobel Prize winners. Like, this is ridiculous what y'all doing to this mess. So what? La, 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 we can't hear you. We're still going to override all of your professional opinions. All of these facts, our lack of knowledge. We're going on our gut, not on what the real deal is. That's what they did. We're going on our gut, or should I say our corruption. That's what they went on. So they ignored everybody coming in and saying, excuse me, we're the bank. Trump's good. No problem with him. So what? We don't want to hear from y'all. We don't want to hear from y'all. Who else? Who else can to come up with something negative to say about nobody? Nobody. So then me and the judge, we're going to conclude that regardless of what all of y'all say, and nobody came to us complaining, we're going to say Trump's guilty for something.
That's how real estate developers who are entrepreneurs and take risks borrow money. That's exactly what happened here. Now, all of a sudden, after this is built successfully and finished, for some reason, this judge takes it upon himself to fine this developer. Forget that it's Trump. This is not about Trump anymore. If you're a developer and you see this happen in the state of New York, why would you take the risk to put up this much money and have a judge arbitrarily decide that you are in some form of breach of fraud?
Because they're Marxists. They're fascists. This is what they do. We'll take your assets. We will find a crime, and we will abuse our authority and our power, regardless of what the people see that is obvious. This is the stuff that makes people have revolts. These are the blatant abuses of power that cause the Civil War. When the people say, I can't believe what they did. I mean, how many more of these things we got to sit through? We done seen them impeach the man once for nothing, ran it back twice, bootleg Russia collusion crap, indict him 4 times, and then do this bull crap right here. To the point where y'all don't even care. Just like, so what, man? We know this is bogus. What y'all gonna do? This is the stuff, man, that it makes you feel like they're daring you. See, but we got to keep it together. We got to pray and hope that November brings a change. Because I'm going to tell you, man, it's hard to sit back and watch this obvious abuse right here and just go, well, you know. So I'm glad these truckers are doing something about it. And this guy's dropping knowledge about it. He's trying to get the audience to see that, hey, stop focusing on Trump. Look what these people are capable of. Look what these people are doing. Do you think that this is fair? Forget Trump. Do you think this is justified? A real businessman who knows how it works is telling the people, no, that's not what these folks are abusing the power. This man, Trump done did this stuff. This has been wrapped up, sold up, paid off. Years go by. What changed? What made them just decide to say, you know, we should look into Trump's businesses? Well, to stop Trump from running. Hurt his pockets. All these years, nobody looking into his stuff. That was years ago. But now all of a sudden, we need to go back and dig up all of this stuff.
No damages occurred at all. And this is the same process that occurs everywhere.
No damages, huh?
This is about the competition of states. I thought before this judgment that the number one loser state in America was California.
It was.
Which is basically putting itself out of business slowly and surely. But after this judgment, I'm going to make New York the number one loser state, followed by California, then Massachusetts, New Jersey, Michigan. These are places where taxes are not competitive. Delaware, for example, is now on the loser state list because it's unstable policy on the Elon Musk decision. You don't have to put your money into places where this kind of thing happens.
Thank you. So now New York's getting hit from both ends, a double dose, from the upper class and the lower class, middle class, whatever. You know, yeah. See, fair people like him, businessmen. Yeah, I'm glad he's saying this. I hope every businessman go, yeah, he got a point. I probably should listen to the businessman who's a billionaire. Yeah, I probably shouldn't invest in New York. I mean, he got a point about, wow, you mean to tell me these red states are saying, come here, you want to spend your money? We'll make sure you get a great return on it. We're fair. We're not going to be sitting back 8 years after you're successful, paid off all your stuff, and just decide because we don't like your politics to start snooping into your business. You know what I'm saying? Just backdate all of it. We're going to go back now, 1985. Crazy, man. This is crazy. So good. Hit them from the high points, hit them from the low points, hit them in the middle. So now you got rich folks saying, don't spend your money there. It's crazy. Then you got middle to lower class folks saying, yeah, speaking of money, we're not bringing your stuff. How you like that?
Each of us as investors, we vote with our capital. Why punish a great state because it doesn't happen to be on the east or west coast? I say go to Florida, go to Texas, go to North Dakota, Oklahoma, West Virginia. These are winner states. Why go to a loser state like
losers?
Hoko?
Hochul's in trouble now because what she said, she said, well, don't worry, the rest of you businessmen, keep doing business here. This is just about one guy, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So it was a political hit job.
Oh! So the bunny rabbit made a confession. Roger Rabbit came out with those snappers and had the nerve to say, hey, before all you business people think that, we're going to treat all of you unfairly. No, this is just a hit job for Trump. We made an exception for Trump. That's what we did. Thank you for finally coming out and saying that. We all knew it. Yeah, all of these things are exceptions just for Trump, not just this one. So, yeah, she comes out and got the nerve to say that as if everybody's going to be like, oh, that was a close one. I'm sure they wouldn't do it to me if I went the same route as Trump.
So you actually just admitted as the governor it has nothing to do with justice, but preventing him from becoming president. And I've got a question for Hochul, Engeron, and Tisha James. Of the hundreds of millions of dollars my former boss is meant to pay in fines and penalties and damages, who's the recipient? Because no bank was defrauded. In fact, the banks testified that they want
there's no
more
clawback
business from President
for victims.
Trump.
It's just going to sit in the Attorney General Letitia James coffers. It's outrageous.
Thank you, Dr. Gorka. I love when Dr. Gorka has to speak. Who's the victim? Yeah, nobody. So where's all this money going to go? That's my question. This is extortion. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to go in and take $355 million of this dude's money. Nobody's getting the money. We don't know where it's going. We don't know where it's going. We're just going to find you. This state and city. Just going to find you. Well, who gets the money? We do. We do. How about that? And don't ask what we're going to do with it either. I hope these people pay a price, man, beyond. Ooh, just your normal reputational damage. I hope they pay a major price. And if this goes to the Supreme Court and gets smacked down, oh boy, it better. So wait, he's back.
It doesn't matter what the governor says. New York was already a loser state. Like California is a loser state. There are many loser states because of policy, high taxes, uncompetitive regulation. It was already on the top of the list of being a loser state. I would never invest in New York now. And I'm not the only person saying that. And here's a real-time situation. In development in real estate right now, the hottest asset class is very high-end data centers. They cost anywhere from $2.5 to $3.5 billion each. They're very expensive. They require low power. You need permits. But most of the major institutions in the world need more data centers, and that's why developers like me are doing this. Now, you need power. So New York has Niagara Falls. Normally, you'd consider that to put in one of these facilities, create 400 jobs, 5 more jobs for each of one of those for auxiliary services. I can't go to New York. So I'm going to Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia. Governor Stitt, Kevin Stitt, my staff have met with him. Governor Bergen, the same thing. Governor Justice. Those are winner states. They don't do things like this. I have to syndicate that debt and all that equity. We're talking billions of dollars here. Do you think any foreign institution or any private equity firm or any pension fund?
This guy's the worst spokesman for this. You got a successful billionaire who's popular out here trashing New York. Trashing them. Calling them a loser state. Good. They need to be walking around with a scarlet letter with an L right there. Loser state. On so many levels. Crime, immigration, and now corruption. Loser state. Who wants to put their money? And Hochul gonna come out and try to save face. Oh, and all she did was just say, look, we're authoritarian. That's all she said. We pick and choose who we want to, be successful and who we don't. If you get on our bad side, we can go ahead, concoction a raggedy case, find a nasty, stinking corpse judge to side with us and a corrupt prosecutor, and we will take every dime you have if you don't play ball. Now that right there is real tyranny. And she said it out loud.
Would touch New York. No. And that's why New Yorkers should be concerned. The fine people of New York should ask themselves, why are we such a loser state? How are we going to attract business? It's not just the existing businesses that are fleeing out to Texas and Florida. What about new money like this that I'm talking about, like a $4 billion data center? Not a chance I would put that in New York. Zero probability. Never. And so they've got a lot of work to do to find themselves getting out of this situation. This has all occurred post-pandemic. Winner states versus loser states. Look at Tennessee right now. Fastest growing city in America, Nashville. Winner state. Good policy. Competitive taxes. You've got to start thinking about this in the context of winners and losers. New York, mega loser state.
Mega loser state, y'all. Boy, I tell you, he is letting New York have it. And I bet you every time he goes on a show, they're like, They ain't gonna. He's doing two things. He's pointing out how raggedy New York is ran and how they abuse so many areas when it comes down to the people. One, the stupid people keep voting for these people for some reason. But two, taxes, all the little things that they do to make life difficult for New Yorkers. Then they come out and they abuse their power with corruption by going after Donald Trump, which really sets a precedent to go after pretty much any other builder, any other entrepreneur in New York. Loser state. And he is highlighting the fact that these people are doing something to Trump that they're not doing to any other person, which also kills their narrative that they're fighting for justice and nobody's above the law and Trump brought it on himself. Yeah, he is indirectly, if he's not doing this directly, he's indirectly highlighting this. So when he gets out there and he says, what is wrong with that? Trump did nothing wrong. And then he even tries to let him know, forget Trump. This is a practice that has been done for the dawn of time since we started building stuff. And for some reason, y'all decide, let's go ahead and pick on Trump. So his final victim is going to be from CNN, y'all. And I appreciated this exchange.
Let me just jump right in here. Last time you and I spoke about the possibility of what the fine could be in this case, we now know what it is. It's more than $350 million. That's a huge financial hit. And I'm wondering, where is he going to get this money?
Yeah. See, you see the chick right there? She seems a little gleeful. She seems a little jovial. That's a huge hit. And I'm wondering, where's he going to get this money? That sounds like extortion. That's all it is. Yeah, she's a little gleeful. But boy, her bubble is about to get busted. That frown is going to get, that smile is going to get turned into a frown.
Actually, it's closer to $500 million with a 9% interest, assuming it'll take 18 to 2 years to actually settle this in an appeal, which I think it should be appealed. He'll work hard to raise it. I think he can do it. But I don't think this case is about Trump anymore at all. Because
wait a minute, body language changing. She was true. Now all of a sudden, like, wait, let me reposition. I got to go into battle mode. He said, okay, he's trying to take away the attention from Trump. Where's he going with this? Because the whole hit piece is to focus on Trump. This is a hit piece on Trump. Now he's going ahead and diverting away from what I was trying to do here. So I'm going to try to get him back to Trump and see where he's going with this.
As you heard the governor of New York come out yesterday and say, look, everybody, don't be scared about doing business in New York because the only people we prosecute are people like Donald Trump who don't behave well.
Oh, boy, that hurt. Shot to the heart, and you're to blame. Darling, you give fake news a bad name. Shout to the heart. See, when you sing something like that, you gotta sing something. Shout to the heart, and you're to blame. Yes. So he came out and said, look what she said. If you play nice, if you are a business person who are okay with our policies, okay with our party, the bad things will happen to you. Okay? Yeah. But hey, you step out of line. If we don't like your policies, your beliefs, your ideas, your whatever, we will make provisions to go ahead and take you for everything you have. She basically came out and said, we're a fascist dictatorship that all of these companies need to line up with us and play ball with us or watch us punish you. And we'll find something to punish you. So that's what she did. She basically made that confession. And it hurts because this guy just calls it out and it sounded just awful when he said it. Like, do you understand what she said? If you play nice, if you are, see Trump's behavior, we want to be able to control all of you people right here, you business people. Now, why would you want to go into a city who operates like that? That's their operating mode. She ain't saying why Trump is getting attacked like this. What do you mean when you say because it's his behavior? He's not behaving. Is he your son? Is he a child? Is he a slave? What are you talking about, lady?
That didn't go over very well with the investment community because we're all asking each other.
And it didn't go well with the regular community, the blue-collar workers, as they're getting stuck to them with these truckers.
What's next? This was a victimless crime. Nobody lost any money.
Oh, she's hurting
And a
now.
judge out of nowhere put on a $355 million penalty. I mean,
here she goes. Y'all see that look down? Stop him. Somebody's in that. You're like, okay. He just said the magic word. It's a victimless crime. Now, we can't have our audience thinking that we are Marxists and we support a real tyrannical, government that can just find crimes, just go in there, find a crime, and then destroy a man's career, take his business, bring him up on bootleg charge. We don't want people thinking that. We don't want them thinking that because we've been out here telling our audience that this is legit. Trump's a criminal. Trump broke all these laws. And now you got this well-known, well-respected businessman who comes on your show and blows up your whole narrative by saying this is a victimless crime. Even bubbleheads watching will go, wow, that's a good point. So right then when he said that, you saw her immediately go, like, what? How do I address this? How do I counter this? Give me something. So here she goes. You always know when something is said that they don't like because they immediately interrupt.
Who's next? So if you think
Kevin,
about
before I don't want to cut you off, but I hear about the so-called victimless crimes, but the laws on the books, falsification of business records. And stuff.
There it is. Her job is to go ahead and try the case right there. Her job is not to go ahead and talk about the facts because the fact is it's a victimless crime. Now, here you talking about the laws on the books. Well, how can you have broken the laws on the books if there's no victim? Nobody came to Queen Latifah and tapped her on the shoulder and said, him never gave me my money. Him never gave me my money. Nobody did that. So, wait a minute. The chat's not working. Yeah, they must not like what I'm talking about tonight. Yeah, but nobody did that. Nobody went to bootleg Queen Latifah and said, I got a problem with Trump. In fact, they all said, we ain't got no problem with Trump. So she goes into, let me go ahead and try to combat that because that is not the narrative that we want people to get right there. Nah. So I got to go ahead and start bringing up some laws on the books for some reason. But to implement some type of penalty and talk about somebody broke the law, you got to have a victim, right?
Second degree, issuing false financial statements, insurance fraud, conspiracy, and all these different aspects of it.
How do you know that? How do you know Trump did that if nobody came to you to even give you a predicate to open up an investigation to see if he did it? What I'm thinking is you just decided I'm going to go look into Trump's stuff. That's what I'm thinking. Because, see, I don't know of any place in America where the government decides, you know what we should do? Nobody came to me and said, hey, you might want to investigate this guy. Or, hey, this guy did A, B, and C. But what we're going to do, because we just think in our gut, he might have done some stuff. So let's go ahead and look. Oh, well, what's this? What's this? You shouldn't even be looking into this stuff. How can you even justify? Like, I don't even know to this day. What was their justification to looking into this? I don't even know. If nobody came to you and said it's a problem, how can you even see if it lines up with the laws, if he broke the laws? This is so obvious, man. This is straight banana republic. We don't need to tell you why we're looking into this dude. He did something. I think we're going to go and find something. If he didn't, we'd make it up.
Those are actual crimes. I take it your point is that these should not have been prosecuted?
No, they should have never been brought. They're not even crimes. These are concoction crap that they came up with and tried to insert Trump into that. Here you go. Here's some crimes. We're going to shove Trump into that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Somehow. I don't care how much we got to bend it, contort it, gaslight y'all. All of that stuff. We're going to shove him into these categories.
Well, my point is there's never been a case like this in 75 years. Everything you just listed off is done by every real estate developer everywhere on earth, in every city. This has never, ever been prosecuted. But here's the real point that people in New York should concern themselves with. You can put your money anywhere. I'm a real estate developer. Do you think there's a chance I would ever take a chance on New York again? New York is turning itself into a flyover state.
Oh, he is digging into New York. Digging into him. Letting everybody know they're an S-hole-ran city and state. They're failed city and state. That's what they are. They're corrupt. It's like the third world right now. Straight banana republic. Whole Democrat party. And all these S-hole-ran Democrat states and cities. And look at her. She's one of their agents. Sitting in there thinking about her next rebuttal.
I have to build data centers now. I'm not going to go to New York. New York has power. It's got fiber optics. It's got Niagara Falls. But no, we're not even...
Look at her. Smug look like, hurry up, give me something. Give me something, because he just destroyed me when he came back and said, this has never been done before. Everything that you just thought you were trying to get me on, and I like, has been done by everybody. So then why Trump? Why Trump? And I'm going to bring that back up in a second as we close.
Thinking about it, we're going to places that have the exact same thing, where we have rational governors.
Rational governors. He is digging into the Democrats. Digging into rational governors. In other words, red states.
To investors. This is about New York and its people. If I were in New York today and I was living there, I would ask myself, maybe we should hire better management. Why is this happening to us? Why are we becoming a flyover state? Why are investors concerned?
Uh-oh. The earpiece ghost done started speaking. All right, here's what you're going to do. Here's your counter, okay? Here she goes. Well, Kevin, here we go. Let's see where she goes with this.
About putting their money there.
But shouldn't you ask that? Wouldn't those people also be saying, first of all, I do wonder how many people take issue with the idea that every investor is engaged in falsifying business records, and every investor is engaged in what has been accused of Donald Trump and the Trump organization.
Now, notice what she's saying. She said falsify. Every investor falsifies their records. Now, we're not talking about business negotiation. We're not talking about, presenting your business or your assets in the most positive light and then having them say, well, we don't think it's worth that. She's trying to infer that it was malice. It was already know that my stuff is worth like $3, but I'm going to tell them it's worth like 700 million. There you go. And be shocked when they go, She's even removing the fact that the bank has to make that decision. She's totally removing the bank from the process, as if they just got to accept whatever Trump puts down there. Whatever. Yeah, they don't even go and do their own assessments. No. How about Trump told us it's worth fucking $1 trillion billion. So go cut the check. Do we got enough in the kitty? No? Okay. We're going to have to go ahead and go to the vault. That's what she's doing. So now she's trying to make it seem more malicious. And then trying to say, well, you know what? I think a lot of people would watch how he counters this.
Because there's probably a lot who are saying to themselves, I've never falsified my business records. I know what a square foot looks like. I know what I can ask for and what I have the money to support. So I wonder to what extent that really is true. But on the second point, wouldn't there be many companies who would not want to do business or loan money to people like yourself or investors if they know that they can get away with fraud and there's no recourse to protect them?
Excuse me, what fraud? This is not about Trump anymore.
So simple, but just punched her right up under her chin. Can get away with fraud? Just try to loop him into it. To protect him? He's like, excuse me, what fraud? What fraud are you talking about? How do you defraud a bank? That's my question. Do you understand? They're the most tight-lipped, All right, we want to know everything. All right, how much is that mole you have on your face? Is that a real mole or was it drawn in? All right, you're going to have to put the mole up for collateral. I need the mole for collateral. I mean, these folks are serious about that. You can't just go in there and wing it with them. And here she is talking about what they want to do. And that. It's crazy. He just said, what fraud are you talking about? Yeah, I know what you're trying to suggest because you're trying to go ahead and try to legitimize this stupid decision with Trump.
When you get a developer that builds a building, and he says it's worth $400 million, and he wants to borrow $200 million from a bank, which happens every day, everywhere on Earth, including every American city. Every developer is an entrepreneur. They shine the light on their building and they say it's worth 400. The bank does its own due diligence, as was done in this case, because they're
wow. Look at this brilliant businessman schooling his dummy on how it works. And she's basically saying, you know what, I'm willing to go ahead and, show everybody how dumb I am and how evil I am and how much I'm trying to protect this narrative to legitimize this whole case so that I can save the conscience of all of our viewers, because it will blow their heads wide open if they see that what? Trump's really not guilty of this? This man is making sense? And you're telling me that they're unjustifiably persecuting Trump? They had me running around thinking this guy was a Russian agent. They had me thinking this guy right here defrauded people. You're telling me everybody does this? You're telling me these folks up there in New York are abusing their power? Wow. So now she's trying her best to protect this narrative because they're celebrating this, trying to make it seem like it's a victory and that Queen Latifah is legit.
very good at it. The banks are very good, and they say, no, it's worth 300. We're only going to loan you 150 million. That haggling has gone on for decades. That's how it works. And then in this case, even the bank that was supposedly defrauded testified and said, we didn't lose anything. We want to do business with this guy again.
Game over. Get this chick out of there. What do you think this is? It's so fascinating to see them come out and try to argue on behalf of Queen Latifah and any of these bootleg prosecutions and attacks on Trump, when rational people come out there and they just drop all this out there and they still try to hang on. They still try to fight through it. Now, this man just straight up said, look, every other entrepreneur does this. All of the investors do this. This is a normal standard practice. So then what could it be that makes them do this to Trump versus everybody else? You're not able to tie that together. You're not able to piece this together. Smart lady on CNN. Not to mention, the bank itself said everything was above board. In fact, we want to work with Trump again. Why would they want to work with a guy who defrauded them? Huh? Why would they want to work with somebody? She just got done saying, you think people want to work with people who defrauded them and falsify information? You think that they would? And yet the bank said, yes, I would love to work with Trump again. He was great. Paid it back even ahead of schedule. But she's going to sit back and make herself look stupid trying to defend this crap.
Like to, but the judge said, no. Yeah. Let's penalize this developer for $355 million. And if we're going to do that, let's penalize all the developers all across America. They've all done the same thing. But
you can't do that because then, you won't, it'll be obvious that Trump is, a victim of you guys. He's the real victim. Yeah, he's the real victim. So, you can't go ahead and say, well, shoot, to make it look like we're not singling out Trump. Let's go ahead and go after every businessman who did this. What made her look into Trump? Why not all the other billion? Why not this guy? See? Yeah, well, why not all the other developers? What made her just decide, I'm curious about how Trump valued his property? You're not curious about all of the other developers in New York and around the world? Nobody? Just Trump? And you think that we shouldn't see this as suspicious and obvious? So all these other business developers, you don't even want to see if they did the same thing as Trump did. Don't even want to see. Yeah. Yeah, somebody said Kev is a developer. Yeah, they don't even want to see if other folks did exactly what Trump did because they just want Trump. And if they show that, if they was to come in and do a comparison and say we're unjustifiably, prosecuted by these people because here's 8 other developers that did the same thing, and yet y'all aren't looking into them and ain't punishing them. So why? What's the difference? Oh, Trump is a threat to the Democrat Party. That's what it is. There it is. See?
Of them should go to jail.
All
and should
of them.
Stop building buildings.
Thank you. All of them should go to jail. And that hurts the narrative right there. She's sitting there going, First of all, this guy right here is going to be taken seriously because he's a billionaire. Yet this guy right here is the person who does exactly what Trump does. He knows the game. I can't sit back and Putin fart around with him, and I can't try to dummy down his opinion and his knowledge because everybody respects it. So now I got to sit back and honor that. I got to acknowledge that this dude know what he's talking about while still trying to undermine what he's saying. And I'm not a professional in this. I don't know anything about this. I don't build stuff. I'm not an investor. I'm a propagander.
That's what the message is from New York. Even the governor herself is concerned about what this looks like to investors all around the world. It's not just U.S. domestic.
Look.
All
Here
around
she
the
comes.
world, people are
Here she
talking about
comes.
what happened here. You really think people want to invest money in New York after this? How about we go somewhere else?
I think there are.
Boy, he's killing her and killing New York. Killing it. And then they're like, okay, we got to protect this. We got to protect the narrative. Okay, intercept.
There are people who would. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to converse with you instead.
You just did.
It's only because I want to have a conversation,
You know what?
Kevin,
I respect
as opposed
you.
to just
I
having you
respect
tell
you because
me.
you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. You understand
No.
exactly what I'm talking about.
I got to tell you, I'm respectable for a number of reasons,
Oh,
Kevin
God.
O'Leary, but being a lawyer is one of those issues. But I'll tell you, when I hear your conversation, and I do want to converse with you about this point, I understand that there are legitimate concerns that were raised during the trial and will continue.
Now, y'all ready? Y'all ready for this nonsense as we close?
Continue to be raised about who the quote unquote who is actually bringing the suit. It wasn't the banks who were saying that we as consumers or unsophisticated feel this way, but Letitia James, the Attorney General, and I know you want to expand beyond Trump, has suggested, well, it's about making the playing field level for those who are not the major and billionaire investors, but for those who are supposed to put business records out there, want to get a loan, the idea of making sure that they have to have the same true statements included as those who have a lot more money. Is there any weight to that for you?
I'll field this one, Kevin. Let Kevin's corner field this one. First of all, which he did by making that statement or asking that question, just open her up to show just how stupid this is. So now here she is talking about all of the smaller people who ain't got the capital that Trump have, and then they have to, you can inflate and this and that. Okay, now if you're going to go with that argument, first things first, how in the world, or what made Letitia James pick Trump as an example? What made her say, you know what, I got a good feeling that Trump somehow has benefited because he's a rich developer that probably has the capital or have probably got the lawyers or probably got whatever to go in and inflate his stuff and get these huge loans. And it's not fair to the little man. What made her decide to use Trump as a case study? I mean, remember, you brought charges against this man. See, this ain't one of those, we're just doing a case study to see the differences between rich developers and mediocre developers or small developers or beginning developers. Yeah. So now all of a sudden, you basically said, hey, nobody brought this to my attention, but I think that Trump might have benefited as a developer. And then, unfortunately, it highlights how these smaller developers have to play by all the rules and the rich ones don't. How would you know the rich ones don't? Unless you start just unlawfully looking into Trump stuff. Secondly, is it the responsibility of all rich developers on the same level as Trump to say, well, you know what? We got to be concerned about the smaller developers. And when we negotiate with the bank, we got to make sure we don't have this certain negotiation tactic that we all use, because the little man can't use these same tactics. Because if you're using this argument, then that means you should be looking into every other billionaire rich developer under the same premise that you looked into Trump. The same thing she just said. Should we be concerned about that? Well, then you should be concerned about that with every billionaire developer. And start with this dude. You should be going, well, you know, Kevin, I think Letitia James should start looking into yours too, because you probably did the same thing that Trump did. Well, I did. Well, then you're disenfranchising the smaller ones, and your money should be taken too. Next, Bloomberg or whomever, we want to look into your stuff too, because of what about the little man? How are you going to use this stupid argument right here? Because what that would do is give legitimate reason to look into every rich billionaire developer. But you just assume they did it above board, right? That's what it is. All the other rich billionaire developers, you don't need to look into their stuff because you just assume they did it above board. It was only Trump that you felt falsified or maybe inflated his assets. And what made you think that? Just in a dream? But hey, she gonna try to pull this crap off.
Well, I asked you who lost money, and I make it even clearer. You and I, we're developing a data center together, and I say to you, we can go to New York, where this just happened. It's your money now. You're now an investor, and you're taking risk. You're an entrepreneur with me, right beside me. We're together on the deal. Or I can show you Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia, where the governors actually ran businesses. Let's go there, where this never happened before. They have power. They have permits. They've got legislation that's supportive of entrepreneurship. Why would we go to New York? Why take the risk? My only point is, did we just diminish the great state of New York and the great people of New York? And shouldn't they ask for better management so they don't become a flyover state? Remember, New York has the highest taxes in the country, the worst regulatory environment, and it's incredibly mismanaged. And I'm pointing out now, on top of that, you get this insanity, a victimless crime.
Insanity. He just went ahead and pooped all over this decision. And CNN, who's defending the decision. Insanity. But y'all like it, though. Y'all like that. CNN likes it like that. Because they're insane in the brain up here trying to defend this stupidity.
And forget about Trump. It's not about Trump. I don't care about Trump in this. I care about America, and I care about entrepreneurship, and I care about democracy and the fairness.
Everything that these Marxists don't care about. Everything that they don't care about. That's why she's defending it. That's why she's sitting up here trying to legitimize it. That's why she's sitting up there smirking.
The judicial system is now being criticized. People are asking themselves, the bar of New York, is this judge rational to charge $355 million in a case where no one lost any money?
Yeah. Nobody thinks that's simplistic. Is this man rational? Well, he's corrupt. Nobody lost money. No victim. And you guys on CNN is up here trying to justify this mess. And this man somehow reaches a bootleg number. All right, you know, I'm going to go ahead and try to make it seem like it's a rational number. Let me think, because since there's really no way of coming up with this, because this is all fake. What do you think? You think 55 million? Would that hurt him enough? But not make it look obvious that it still will make it look obvious? Wow. I'm going for it anyway. 355 million. Don't know where the money's going to. Ain't getting paid to anybody because nobody complained. And y'all want us to sit back and go, Trump's corrupt. Look what he's doing. All of his businesses and stuff like that. While Creepy is still sitting on probably like $200 million of money that we still don't know where it came from. No business, no service, nothing but rich.
Is that good for the people of New York? Should the people of New York wake up to this and say, what's happening to us? Why is this becoming so perverse? Why are we the focus of this injustice? And I have nothing to do with Trump. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm supporting American entrepreneurship. And New York is slowly becoming the #1 loser state in America. I'm sorry. That's what's happening.
Thank you for being real, Kevin. It's the #1 loser state. Unbelievable what they did to Trump. He's the real victim. These folks should be the ones that's on trial. How do you open up a case with no victim? Man, straight banana republic. And I hope Queen Latifah slips on a banana. I'm sorry, I'm going back to the bust your head wide open to the white meat. I lost it. I lost the victory, y'all. Pray for me. I tried to rebuke the thought of her slipping on a banana peel. You know, when you hit that head, immediately, boom. Go get the mirror so you can see the white meat. Boy, burns me up what they've done to him. I mean, this right here, you know, I take it personal. Like, you know, you get invested in this because we understand that this is so serious. Like the people on the left who are whining, thinking the world's coming to an end, they have no idea that, you know, their feelings is unfounded. It's not justified. It's concoction in their mind. We know the real danger. We're sitting here going, you see what they just did to this man? This is dangerous. This ain't America. You don't do that in America. You know, all the stuff, invading his crib, all these impeachments, just giving his money away all over the place, trying to get him off the ballot. All of this stuff. This stuff is the real danger to our country. And we see them just saying, we're so desperate, we don't care if y'all see it. Now, we got our dummies thinking that the real danger is Trump coming in and taking over the country and setting himself up as a king. And women's rights are going to be rolled back. And these fools have no idea the danger that we're heading towards if we lose this election. And it's because of people like we just saw on CNN trying to justify this crap and support that crap. They got them in the condition that they're in. And that's why I'm here. To help them see the light. So send my videos to them so that maybe to shock one of them out of it. Shock the monkey. Shock the monkey. Who knows? Might catch one or two. So thanks for listening to me tonight. Thanks for hearing me rant about all of this shenanigans that's going on around the country. Thank you, Don, for posting the alternative channel. Stop and think about it. She just posted the link. Please click on it and subscribe to that channel. Soon as we break 1,000 over there, you know what I'm going to do, y'all? I'm going to go ahead and do my first live stream over there. So please check it out. Thanks for all the kind words. Those that have given to my monthly fundraiser, I appreciate it. Those that sent me things in the mail, I appreciate it. Somebody sent me a mailbox blessing. I always want to recognize them. And they're consistent too. You know, I appreciate that. So make sure you still subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button if you haven't hit it before we go out of here tonight. And look at all the kind words, man. You guys, y'all bust me up sometime. I gotta sometime me sit up. There we go. Trying to make me feel all funny. I appreciate it though. So now I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, 7 o'clock, talking about more shenanigans, trying to make sense out of more nonsense. And if you want to contribute to the channel, got my link right there below this video to do that as well. Almost forgot that. So let's get ready to get out of here. Don't forget, check out the store as well. And let me see here before the little man's hair grows back. Oh yeah, he was looking at me. He knows my wrap-up speech. Yeah, tell him. He always do that. Every time I show him, he's yawning like he's sleepy. Yeah, he started to look like a Wookiee again. Chewie, go get the Millennium Falcon. Skizmo. Yeah. Telling y'all, couldn't love him more than a human baby. Human baby, I'll be like, all right, wait a minute. Do I save the baby or Gizmo? It's a tough one. Anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's bounce. When these corrupt folks make me sick. Oh, text MAGA to that number. Yeah. I need to go get some nourishment right now. I know you see tear up the place, yeah. See y'all tomorrow. Take care.